Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all some of the tips that I have used to mentally prepare me for my third C-section, fourth delivery. I did mention in my last pregnancy update, which is my 34-week pregnancy update, how I had a chit chat with my nurse, and she did say some things that made sense and kind of eased my fears a little bit. So I'm going to be sharing with you all some things that I have been doing, thinking, just to kind of prepare me for the mental part of the C-section surgery that I'm going to have very soon. So if you are interested in this video, I'm hoping that it will help someone else out there that is nervous about their birth. Even if you're not having a C-section, or if you don't plan to have a C-section, you know, having fears in regards to giving birth are definitely real. And, you know, some people are more afraid than others. Some people are more worried than others. Some people have, you know, high risk pregnancies. I'm one of those people that do have a high risk pregnancy. And so, you know, some of us are a little bit older and we're concerned about that. But whatever the case is, whatever your concern is in regards to your pregnancy journey, I want to let you know that you're not alone. It's not crazy or just unbelievable to not feel 100% confident and ready. So I'm going to be, again, sharing some things in hopes of helping other people kind of ease that anxiety or ease those fears of going into birth or giving birth and going into labor. So if you are interested, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into the video. So I want to let you all know, if you've not been following my pregnancy journey, like I mentioned a little bit ago, I am high risk. And so from the point that I found out that I was pregnant, I was a little worried. I was like, I hope that everything goes well with this pregnancy. I prayed, and I got to a point where I decided it was a choice to put my fears in God's hands, meaning that I came to terms with myself that there are some things I just can't control, although I do. Sometimes you do want to control certain things that you can't control. You have to, at one point, at least I did, understand that I don't hold all of the cards. I don't hold the power. I'm here. We're all here on borrowed time. This is not just exclusively my life that I'm living. As far as, I've made a commitment to live my life for God. So, I'll go into that in another video. But that, it's not, I'm not living just for me, if that makes sense. And also, sometimes it's hard to rationalize that our kids are given to us or loaned to us, but they're still God's. They're still God's children. So, we don't have control over everything that happens with our children. We don't have control of everything that happens with our lives. And so it is a big milestone for a lot of people, including myself, to come to that realization. You can say that you know all day long, but to really hone in and understand that concept that we're all here on borrowed time can help you look at things in a different perspective. So with that being said, it's sort of like, it is exactly like praying, Lord, your will be done, not mine, not my will, but your will. So I started to trust more, and I can honestly say that this pregnancy has been, I would say my first pregnancy was my smoothest pregnancy, but this has been the second smoothest pregnancy, and I thank God for that. I don't take it lightly at all. Some of the fears that I had, I had fears in the beginning of not carrying full term. I had fears of ruptured membranes, which is my water leaking prior to it being time. I had concerns and fears about my health. You know, I have a iron, I don't want to say issue, but my iron is low even when I'm not pregnant. And so I was just worried about a lot of different things. I've had C-sections and, just worried about, was my uterus going to be strong enough to carry this baby? And so, there's just a lot of things that went on in my mind. Now that I'm very close to giving birth, undergoing my C-section surgery, I started feeling more nervous and I started being fearful. And so my nurse called and she, I think she called me back because I'll call her if I have questions or something like that. And she's very, very nice. And I was explaining to her after she, answered my questions and things like that. I was explaining to her that I was nervous because she asked, how did I feel about the upcoming C-section? And what she said is, she said, I want to assure you that these people that are doing your surgeries, they do this for a living. This is what they specialize in. And she broke it down even further. She said, we all have an area that we specialize in. And that's like someone coming to you in the area that you specialize in, and they're being, very nervous, and you can understand it. But in the back of your mind, you're like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've researched, I have your information. You're going to be in good hands. And so when I look at that in the aspect of what I do, right, I work with different entrepreneurs, and there are some entrepreneurs that come to me, whether it's because they want to be featured on the podcast, or whether it's because they need assistance with a business plan, or whether it's because they are needing or wanting a mentor, whether it's because they're wanting a professional biography written, whatever they come to me for. I have people that are nervous, even for drop shipping. And I can understand where they're coming from because I was also once a beginner. I was also someone at one point that didn't know, a lot about business. And so over the years and doing it so frequently, it became kind of second nature. I still don't know everything about business, but I know a lot more than I did when I first started. And so thinking about it in that aspect, thinking that the doctor that I'm going to, she does C-sections literally almost every day. She said that she does 4 C-sections about every day or every other day or something like that. But either way, it's a lot. And they have done extensive testing. I have gone to the doctor a lot of times, and I think it's, I'm pretty sure it's because I'm high risk, but they've done so many tests and placed so many measures into place to make sure that I have the safest, healthiest delivery. And when she reminded me of that, it really brought closure to me. Now, I want to say this too. Part of my mind was thinking, well, there are people that go to the doctor too, and they get all the testing and things still go wrong, which that is really true. But I also have to understand, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that I'm going to trust God, and not my will, but yours be done, Lord. And so although it's scary, it can be very scary trusting God. And I know a lot of people, if you say it like that, they're like, what? But it can be. It can be very fearful sometimes, just trusting, just not knowing what to expect and not knowing what the outcome will be. But what I have done, what I found that has helped me is making that decision. So deciding, is this something that I'm going to trust God with, or is this something that I'm going to choose to worry about? Because either way, whether I'm worrying or whether I'm not, I still can't control the outcome. Either way. And I started to grasp that. I started to pray more. I started to do research even more. I don't even want to say I started to do research. I was already doing research, to be honest, about C-sections, about my iron, about the health of my baby, if she was born at 34, 35, 36 weeks. Thank God I'm now at 35. So, I'm definitely moving right along. I researched a lot of things, and it kind of put my mind at ease as well. I do want to let you know, sometimes when you go researching, you may find things that actually heighten your fear. So you definitely want to be cautious of the things that you read online and the things that you are believing, because not everything online is accurate. And I had to find that out the hard way when I was younger. I'll go into a story time about that, but not everything that you see online is accurate. What else? What else can I say that has helped me? Also, having a supportive partner is definitely going to be helpful. Being pregnant, it's not an easy task a lot of times for you nor your spouse or your partner. And what I mean by that is, I know some people may be saying, what do you mean? And everyone's journey by all means is different. So I'm not classifying or, saying that everyone can relate to what I'm saying or what I went through or what I'm going through. But I know, like, for my situation, and I talk more about this kind of stuff like on my Patreon, Girl Talks, but it can be very challenging sometimes for your spouse. I know my husband, he's like, sometimes like, what can I do to help? Sometimes I'm so tired and I'm so like just in pain, just ready for, like, mentally and physically exhausted from pregnancy and everything else around me. And I'm just like, I just don't feel well today. And he's like, well, what can I do? And it's he's trying to figure out like what he can do, because he's thinking that there's like a quick fix somehow, or if I do this, will you feel better? And so he'll try to rub my feet, and I'm like, I do feel better, but I still don't feel good, if that makes sense. And it could be like a time where both parties are trying to figure out how to kind of like adjust to the new circumstance of being pregnant, because every pregnancy is different. And on top of you feeling pain, on top of your partner trying to figure, like, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to make her feel better? What can I do to help this? And then, still needing to get things for the baby and counting down, and then life still is happening around you. It can definitely be a point in your life where you're like, whoa, and now that I am almost to the end, I am starting to become just ready, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just kind of ready as I ever will be to go ahead and embark on this next journey. I do trust my doctors, but I ultimately trust God. And I trust God to do what's best. I trust God to make sure that everything goes correctly. I trust God to make sure that I am healthy. I trust God to make sure that I have a healthy C-section and a baby. And so that's what I've been doing. Those are kind of like the thoughts that have been circulating in my mind to bring a sense of comfort and ease to me. Also listening to songs. Some of the songs that I've been listening to have been like, what song is it? I've been listening to a lot of Kirk Franklin. I've also been listening to The Potter's House. It doesn't really have necessarily, it's like the songs aren't really talking like saying specifically anything toward or geared toward like a pregnant woman specifically. But for me, just listening to the word and, words and understanding that I'm, again, placing my fears and my burdens and my anxieties and my, the unknowns into God's hands, it really does help. And that's pretty much what I have been doing. And like I said, my nurse was completely correct. Just reminding yourself that who you're going to has your chart, your records. Hopefully they've done their testing. Before I've had emergency C-sections. I never had one that was planned. I never got to that point. And so now that I'm at the point where I have one that's planned, it is a little bit different. And I was explaining to her that it's a little bit more scary because I'm actually knowing that I'm walking into something versus the other times I didn't know that I was walking into it. It just kind of happened. So, either way, I know that I've been taking care of myself the best that I can. So I'm just really And if you think about it, you probably may say, well, there's other things I could have done. Because I know sometimes I do that. I'm like, well, there's still things I could have done that were different and better. But, you know, overall, I think that I did a pretty good job with this pregnancy. I think that, you know, I give all the praise to God as far as my health and safety and my baby's growth as well. I've ordered like some of the last minute items, so I'm just waiting for them to get there, waiting for them to get here. I do still want to order me a bag. Initially, I was going to use the same bag for the baby and I, but I am thinking now that I'm going to take 2 bags because I don't think that her diaper bag is going to be big enough for all of our stuff. So that's that. But if you have any other tips or techniques that have helped you mentally prepare to give birth, mentally prepare for pregnancy, mentally prepare for a new venture in your life, because, you know, having a baby, you know, it is a life-changing event. So if you have additional tips or, you know, stories that you've gone through, or experiences, I should say, that you've gone through that have helped, be sure to comment them down below. Help someone else out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave those below as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.